this is the Mahan, the Tier 6 US Destroyer. We're going to talk a little bit about it and the stats on the ship, and then we're going to go into a game on it. It is immediately before the Mahan and immediately after the Nicholas, which is a fantastic little ship. Its Japanese counterpart is the Mutsuki, and the USSR counterpoint is the Ognevoy. It's a fantastic little ship. I'm going to talk a bit about its stats first, then I'm going to show you a replay of it. Okay, so American destroyers are different from the Japanese destroyers. In the American destroyers, your main strength is your guns. In the Japanese destroyers, it is stealth and torpedoes. You can do well with torpedoes in the American destroyers, but not so much at this tier when the range of them is limited. So, it has 11,500 hit points, 16mm maximum armor, which is absolutely nothing. Let's not even discuss the armor. The guns, you have 4 times 127mm guns. If you have the earlier hull, you can have 5, but you have less health and less AA, and I believe 1 or 2 less torpedo tubes. The damage on the main battery with HE shells is 1,800 maximum, and it is 2,100 maximum with the AP. It has a rate of fire of 15 rounds a minute, which is absolutely amazing, and 180-degree turn time on the turrets is 12 seconds. Torpedoes on this have 64 knot speed, 6.4 kilometers max, and almost 12,000 maximum damage. Now, these were buffed in the recent patch. The patch before this, the torpedoes range were only 4.5 kilometers, which is absolutely pathetic. It's still pretty low, 6.4 kilometers, considering that you detected in this ship at 7.6 kilometers and 3.4 in the air. So you're going to be detected 1.2 kilometers before you're in torpedo range. Now, just to have a quick comparison, the Mutsuki torpedoes have 10 kilometers, okay, and the Mutsuki's only detected at 6.2 kilometers, so it's got about 4 kilometers to play with before it's detected. The Soviet destroyer has 4 kilometers range and the greater detectability, so it's even worse for the Soviet destroyer. Anyway, as I said, it's pretty interesting, this ship, because you have 2 different hulls. On one of them you get an extra gun, and on the other one essentially more health, more AA. Now I chose the one with more health and more AA because I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, and you shouldn't really be shooting at aircraft, but you will get into that game where a carrier has destroyed the other carrier and he's deciding to harass you with fighters. This ship can kill fighters if you wanted to. Now, I'm not saying you should go into a escort duty or anything like that. However, if you have fighters harassing over you, spotting you non-stop, you can kill them if you turn on the AA in this ship. So I'm going to talk about the AA now. It has 5 20mm mounts that do 25 average damage a second with a 2.1 kilometer range. It also has some Bofors guns which do 18 damage a second with a 3.5 kilometer range, and last but not least it has AA guns, which is the main mounts actually. You can turn them into AA guns. They have a 5 kilometer range and they do 12 average damage a second. The ship goes 36.5 knots, which again is pretty quick. Let me compare it to the Japanese destroyer, which does slightly more, 37.5. It has a 560 meter turning circle radius, and it's got a rudder shift time of 2.7 seconds. we talked about the surface detectability range earlier, 7.6 kilometers. That's going to be your main downside in this ship compared to the Japanese ones if you're used to playing those. So we'll talk about the modules that are mounted on this ship. I use the torpedo tubes modification. Obviously, give your torpedo tubes less risk of being destroyed. You could go with the main battery modification instead, and I may actually do that on this ship because the main battery is your main thing in these ships. It's not the torpedoes. The torpedoes are a secondary thing. At higher tiers it might be, but not right now. Your torpedoes essentially on this tier are going to be used against other destroyers that come close to you, and maybe cruisers if they come close. You're not going to be doing long range torpedo runs on this ship. I also have the torpedo tubes modification 2. Essentially makes them move quicker, but again I may change this for the gunfire control system. Next, it's a choice of 3 here. Now this one might be quite controversial. A lot of people like to take damage control system. I disagree with it on a destroyer because minus 5% chance of the risk of fire and minus 3% chance of the risk of flooding. In destroyers, if you set on fire, the damage is not that great. Yes, it does reveal you and make you easier to detect, but the damage itself is not that great, and the repair party consumable has a low cooldown on destroyers. Less chance of the risk of flooding. Well, if you get hit by a torpedo in a destroyer, you're pretty much dead anyway. So it's not really worth it for me. I would take one of these two. Steering gears modification, less chance of the steering getting knocked out. In propulsion, less chance of the engine getting knocked out. Of those two, I believe the engine's more important. But it's up to you what you want to take. I haven't took the last one yet, purely because I don't have the credits. And I don't believe they're that great anyway for destroyer. If I was going to choose something, I would pick this in a destroyer. 20% chance, 20% minus, time to reach full power. Nextly, captain skills. On the captain, first skill I chose is situational awareness. I believe it's just a given in destroyer. You should take situational awareness. There's nothing really else you would take on this first row. Secondly, I've took the torpedo armament expertise, minus 10% chance of reloading torpedo tubes. Some people could argue that you should take the expert marksman, the US destroyer, but I disagree with it because the gun's too quick enough anyway. On the third line, superintendent is what I took. It gives you 1 extra charge on your smoke charge primarily. There's nothing else really there that I would take. Okay. Then there is on the fourth row, last stand I took. Basically this allows your ship to maneuver and move while your engine or steering gears are knocked out. Yes, you will do it at a reduced performance rate. It's normally about 60% of what it would be without the engine being knocked out, but being stuck in the water is the worst thing that can happen to you in a destroyer. Some people like to take the demolition expert, 3% extra chance for your shells to set fire. I completely disagree with that. Your main strength in the destroyer is the ability to move. I haven't got the top skill yet. When I do get there though, it'll be concealment expert, obviously, minus 10% less chance to be detected, which would take this down to around 6.9 kilometers detection range, which is going to be absolutely way better. So let's see the match. So here we are. We're on the ocean map, which normally this isn't a good map for destroyers. It's okay for Japanese destroyers where they can torpedo out of range. For US destroyers it's not that great because you can't use concealment, you can't hide between obstacles and near obstacles. So you pretty much have to expose yourself every time you want to do a torpedo run, unless you do it from behind cover. Now my aiming mod isn't working properly, so when I zoom in, well, it is working, but it's not working in the replays. so when I zoom in you won't be able to see it properly, unfortunately. So the plan here is I'm just going to skirt toward the middle of the map, get some spotting in for the battleships and cruisers to start firing away and doing some damage. So here I am, I'm detected. And let's just see what destroyers they've got. They've got a Minikaze on the enemy team. And there's the Nicholas that they've got on the enemy team also. So, I'm just going to blindly launch torpedoes because it's hard to hit destroyers with torpedoes. So I'm just launching them well ahead of time, hoping that he's focusing on using his guns on me, which he is, but I'm also firing at him, and I'm doing much more damage to him than he's doing to me. I've already racked up 6,000 damage. So I'm firing. He's went into smoke, and now one of my torpedoes hit him. He's dead. So I've got planes coming over me. I've turned off my AA though, because I don't really want to be detected now. And there's the Nicholas's torpedoes. I'm going to avoid those easily though. And now I'm detected by a Minikaze to my right here. So I'm going to smoke. I'm going to sit in this smoke. I don't want to engage this Minikaze at the moment because I know he would have launched torps. And I've got all these ships firing at me. So I want those ships to change their targets before I try to engage this Minikaze. So I'm on fire, but as you see and as I discussed in the port, the fire's not doing too much damage to me. It doesn't to a destroyer. So there's the Minikaze's torps. I avoided them very easy. I'm still detected though, so he must be spotting me at this point because it's a surface detection. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to swing back around, I'm going to hide in this smoke, and I'm going to take some pot shots at these cruisers and battleships. So I'm waiting to get behind concealment before I fire on this Phoenix. And there we go. 21,000 health on this destroyer, on this cruiser, sorry. Tier 5 American cruiser. He has torpedoes also, but I believe they're only 6,000 kilometers. Now, I can see the fur attacker here, so I'm going to start opening up on him a little bit. And there's the Phoenix again, and I want to do some damage to this Phoenix. So I'm sitting in the smoke, I'm firing at him. There's 1,000 damage. There's 500 damage. 800. There's a miss. There's 800 and the fire. So there's his repair party consumable down now. He's turning. I am conscious of the Minikaze on the map behind me. I'm watching him on my map, but I'm not too concerned about him at the moment. I'm firing at this Phoenix. Now I'm going to turn to the Minikaze because he's getting quite close. So, he's going to get a shock here because he fired torpedoes and they were completely away from me. So, I'm still kind of in smoke, but he spotted me. So now I'm just going to fire my torpedoes again. They're probably not going to hit him, but they're going to make him turn. And there I knocked his engine out with the first hit. He's repaired it, it looks like. And I knocked it out again. His repair might have still been on though. Again I've knocked it out. That was the steering gear, sorry. And now he's turning in a circle. So I'm just going to fire, 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 and I'm absolutely ripping this Minikaze apart. He's down. So, I'm just going to assess now where to go. And I'm detected. It's probably by the cruiser over there. And I'm no longer detected. So both of the enemy destroyers are down now, which is fantastic news. Because now I'm not going to get spotted before I try to do any torpedo runs or anything like that. I'm going to see any target I need to see before they see me. There is no target here that can detect me before I detect them. So, at this point I'm thinking I want to go for the battleship. I'm thinking I want to go for the New Mexico. I start going toward him, and I'm thinking I could go for him, I could go for the Phoenix. It could be either one of them. I'm detected now by the Phoenix, so I start to fire. He's on 8,000 health, and in retrospect this probably wasn't a good idea, but he's tunnel visioning and he stays fighting the other destroyer, and I'll just keep firing at him. Luckily he took a citadel there. There's another 500 from ourselves. He fires one shot, but he's dead. So now I'm going to pull away, and now I see a huge break in the map and I can see where the enemy carrier is. So I decide that I'm going to go after this carrier. Remember that I've got a 12-kilometer range, so I can hit him from quite far away. There, he's in range already. So we line up our shots. We do have smoke screen as well, so I can use smoke screen if I get in trouble. I've still got 7.5k health, so I'm pretty confident that I can do this here. So I start to fire. I'm trying to find the lead. I'm trying to find the range. So I pull my shots back slightly after that one. It looks like he's slowing down though as well. And I'm getting fired on now. So I take a look, what could be firing on me? I think it was the battleship that was firing on me. Back to the carrier, there's 500 damage. There's 1,000. Now this is a Bogue, it's a tier 5 American carrier. 3,500 damage with the citadel there, and set him on fire. He repaired it instantly. 1,700 damage. The damage is down now, just pouring out. 2,300. 2,300 again, and he's on fire again. 2,300 again. 1,000. 1,000. Massive amount of damage, and I'm sitting in a smoke screen now. While I was firing on him, I knew that we had a the other destroyer on our team was spotting him, so I could sit in the smoke. Now I'm just going to start unloading on this battleship. Now this is going to surprise a lot of people who usually play Japanese destroyers, but I've already done 5,000 damage to this battleship just from guns. There's another 700. I'm really attempting to set him on fire though, and I'm hoping he comes toward me so I can launch torpedoes at him. There's another 500. There he is on fire. He repaired it instantly though. So I'm just going to keep firing, keep firing. I've got about a 2-minute sit in this smoke screen before it'll go away. So I'm firing still. I'm just going to keep unloading shells into him. I can see there's a cruiser that may come this way though. So I start to back away. And it's the nightmare of pretty much every destroyer at Cleveland. Rapid firing guns, decent damage. You don't want to be caught by Cleveland in a destroyer. So I fire torpedoes, I go back behind the smoke screen, and I just pull away and retreat. I don't want to be sat there when the smoke screen wears off, because the Cleveland will just rip me apart. He spotted me, he starts firing. Those torpedoes look like they're gonna go in the right direction though. So let's see. There's my engine knocked out. I repaired it instantly. I don't want to be going too slow, and I've got Cleveland chasing me. One of the torpedoes hit, 10,000 damage, and we got a Confederate there. So I'm turning away. I don't want to fight him now. I've got 40-second reload on the torpedoes still to go. There's nothing I can do. I don't want to get into a gun battle with this guy. I'm only on 2k health. So I'm just pulling away, letting him chase the other destroyer down. I've got no interest in having this battle right now. So we have one smoke screen left. Now, my damage counter in the top left, seeing I've done 58,000 damage, but it's not correct. This is just a mod that I'm using, but it doesn't work if you do hidden damage, flooding damage, fire damage, and also damage behind smoke screen that you didn't see, like the torpedo that I hit on the destroyer at the start of the game. That wouldn't have been counted on here. So I know I've done more than that. So I fire a shell out of that Cleveland, because I know he repaired the flood earlier, so I'm hoping it may set him on fire. It hits him, but no fire. And now I'm getting shot at by the Jap cruisers here. So I can see also there's the Imperator, the brand new Russian premium battleship. I believe it's tier 4. So now I'm angling in. I can see my smoke screen's going to be off cooldown soon, so I'm ready to drop it and get behind the smoke. There we go. I'm going to hide behind the smoke and fire upon these ships. They're in the cap circle. I need to do something about this. No one's really defending the cap. There's some cruisers around on our team, but for some reason both of our battleships are retreating. So we need some heavy firepower here. So I'm firing at this Ioba. I'm doing some damage to him, and he's turning away. Now he's turning back in. He's firing blind at the smoke. I'm not doing any big damage to him at the moment, but it's harassing him. So I'm going to fire some torpedoes because I can see that battleship is going relatively straight, so I'm hoping they clip him. There's a shot on the Ioba, 4 hits, but no damage from it. So I'm going to start firing at this battleship now. The Ioba is retreating, he's not a threat anymore. I want to hit this battleship. He's coming direct toward me, so I don't want him to interrupt my smoke. So I'm firing. 1,700 damage. 500. And a torpedo hit that Congo on the side of the screen there. 500 damage. I'm firing. And now I'm reversing slightly because I want to angle my ship so I can hit him with torpedoes. There he is on fire. So I keep firing. Torpedoes ready in 8 seconds. I'm firing. He's angling his guns toward me now, so he knows. And I fire the torpedoes, and unfortunately I pulled the back end of the ship slightly out the smoke and allowed him to spot me. And there comes incoming fire, and I'm dead. So my torpedoes are still running true though, and it looks like they're going to be some good hits. He's on 23,000. 3 torpedo hits and he's dead.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
So, I'm not going to bore you with what happened here, but essentially the 2 battleships on our team that you can see going toward the enemy cap went to the cap and sat in the cap and left this Isakazi to face these 2 battleships and a cruiser. The Isakazi actually sunk the Congo with torpedoes, but then he died and we lost the game. So here is the end of the battle, and we scored 192 target hits. We did 6 torpedo hits, 3 ships destroyed. We made 320,000 credits, 2,000 experience. This is all without any flags. We got a Flesh Wound medal, Devastating Strike medal, Confederate medal, which is very nice, and also a First Blood medal. We came top on the team by quite far. I was disappointed that this was a defeat because we should have won if it wasn't for the 2 battleships on our team. We did 60,000 damage with HE shells, 7,000 with fire, and we did 46,000 with torpedoes. As far as credits go, we scored 170,000 credit profit, and that was a defeat. Now, I think that game really showcased the abilities of the Farragut. This isn't a great map for it as well, but you can still do well in it. You just need to know not to rely on your torpedoes. You're not a Japanese destroyer. Your primary thing to use is not your torpedoes, it's your guns. Okay. This isn't a great map for it as well, but you can still do well in it. You just need to know not to rely on your torpedoes. You're not a Japanese destroyer. Your primary thing to use is not your torpedoes, it's your guns. Okay. So here's another game now on the New Dawn map. And if we just have a look at what ships are in here. We have an aircraft carrier on each team, tier 7, Colorado battleship, a few tier 6 battleships, and then a mixture of cruisers and destroyers. Now I'm looking at the enemy destroyers. They have a Mutsuki and a Minikaze. I know I can take those destroyers out. So my game plan in this battle is going to be to go to the center, the B cap, and dominate the B cap, and then decide what I'm going to do from there. But initially I want to go to the B cap. I don't care that I'm spotted, because I'll be able to spot them fairly soon after they spot me. So we're going for it. One of the carriers is sending some fighter planes over as well, which is always handy. Might get an early spot. And there's some enemy planes there, and here we are. There was a destroyer spotted by the planes there. Now I'm spotted. Surface spot. There is the destroyer. And this is the Minikaze. No match for me at this range. I can spot his torpedoes if he fires them from there. He needs to get close. I'm going to fire torpedoes. I don't think they're going to hit him, but we're firing at him again, and I knocked his engine out and hit his torpedoes as well. I'll keep firing. 1,700, his engine's down again. Firing again. 2,000. 800. 1,000 again. He has no chance. 1,000 again. And he's down. So I'm gonna smoke now because I've got a lot of attention. I can see a lot of shells coming in, so I wanna lose these guys. And I wanna cap. And now I took no damage there, taking him out. So we're just smoking the area, we're spreading this smoke, because I'm going to go and sit in it now to fire upon this cruiser that's coming into the area. It's in Atlanta, so I need to be extremely careful. And he's decided he wants to kill me. He's coming into this cap area. So I fire blindly. We capped B before he got in the zone as well. So I'm going to go around to the top end of the island, hope I can spot him. Or that my teammates spot him, sorry, so I can fire on him. But unfortunately, looking at the map, no one's kind of within range to spot him. So it's a bit of a guessing game where he is at the moment. But there he shows up. I'm still hidden, so I'm going to fire at him. There we go, 1000 damage. Now, normally you would fire your torpedoes at this island exactly where I'm pointing now. But this guy's smart, and I realize what he's doing. He stops there because he knows I'm here. He doesn't want to turn the corner and be torpedoed. But I say what the hell, and I activate my engine boost. I go around, fully loaded torpedoes. I'm going to take a hit from him, but I'm going to kill him here. Here we go. Took a big amount of damage, but there's nothing he can do about that. 700 meters away from him, 20,000 damage with torpedoes, 3 hits. It was worth it to kill him.
Our team has taken the lead.
So now we're just dominating this area. I'm wondering where the other destroyer is. So, the destroyer that's still in the game is the Tier 6 Matsuki. He hasn't been spotted, and there he shows up. The bomber spotted him. But I don't want to really go there because there's 2 battleships in that area. And I don't want to get spotted by him. Now this carrier sent his fighters over me to spot. So I turn on my AA to scare him off. He pulls away, and there is friendly fires going for him. I distance myself again from the fighters. Now I'm still wondering where this Matsuki is. I want to know where he is. And now I'm spotted, so he must be close. There he is, he showed up on the map. He's going behind the island, so I lost him now. I'm not spotted, neither is he now. But I'm going to go in that direction, because I want to kill him. I want to get him out of the game. So, we're going to fire torpedoes. I'm going to fire them on 2 different spread settings. Because I'm just firing blind, I'm hoping I can get him. It's not the main thing. The main thing I'm going to do is kill him with the guns. That's just essentially to confuse him and keep him occupied on something. And he's going to do the same as the Atlanta did. He's stopping there because he knows I'm here. He knows I'm in the area, so he doesn't want to turn that corner. He's laying smoke. And the torpedoes are going for him. He had to speed up again there, so now I'm firing. 1000 damage. Miss. Fire blind. Fire blind again. Missing, but firing. And we hit him there. 400 damage, finished him off. Both the enemy destroyers are down, and I'm still alive. So I've got an opportunity here to do some work. So, at this point, I'm thinking the enemy carriers around C6. Sorry, C9, but there's about 2 battleships are in the area, so I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get there. I decide I'm going to go around this island and round the back, but then I'm conscious of where the enemy torpedo bombers are heading, and they're not looking like they're heading to C9. They look like they're more going to around B6 area, and then I spot some fighters taking off from that area, so I know the carrier's over there. Problem is there's a battleship here blocking the way, the Colorado Tier 7 battleship. So I decide I'm going to go in here, lay some smoke and drop some shots at this guy. So we drop smoke, we slow down. We got revealed there, but it's okay. So I reverse into smoke a little bit and start firing. Firing. We're keeping firing. He's firing blindly into smoke, but he missed. There's a 500 damage shot. These shells aren't actually doing much. There's 1,500. I'm trying to hit his citadel, sorry, not his citadel, his bridge area, because I want him to go on fire. But it's not working. I have destroyed his anti-aircraft ability a lot though. So now I spot that there's torpedo bombers over me, and I'm quite worried because I'm thinking he's just going to blindly torpedo the smoke. So I start a maneuver. I stop firing and I start to move away.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
So there's the torpedoes, but they were going for the cruiser on our team. And he's sunk. So I decide I'm going to move away from this area because it's not very favourable at the moment. And I'm watching this Cleveland here because he's only on 5,000 health, but it's too risky for me to take shots at him at the moment. So I'm just going to go around the area. As I do that, a wild Omaha appears out of nowhere. So I immediately fire torps because he's coming into this area. And you're going to see here, he does something very stupid. He decides to follow me in because he wants to kill me. He fires on me and drops me to 500 health. I'm trying to get behind this island to put a blockade between us. He can detect me still for another kilometer and a half, so I need to put distance between us. My engine boost's active. There's 2 torpedo hits, 20,000 damage on him. I still don't want to risk getting hit by him though. He's on 3,000 health. I'm a one shot to him right now.
Our victory is in sight.
I'm trying to put some distance. Now, rather than coming in, he's just taking an about turn. He's just going to turn and make sure he gets a hit on me. He doesn't care if he goes into the island and gets beached, which is exactly what he's doing. So I start the fire, because I know it's life or death here. 1,000 damage, 1,000 damage again, he's dead. But he could have easily got me there. Now I can see these bombers coming overhead. And I accidentally crash into a battleship here, New Mexico, and I almost get hit. I'm wary of these bombers. I think they're going for the New Mexico, but they might turn and get me to see how low I am. Now I can see shots coming over the horizon as well, but I'm not sure what it's from. So I decide I'm going to use the cover of the islands to get around and see where it is. Now it's shown up on my map, it's a Colorado. A Cleveland. So he's engaging the battleship, so I'm gonna try and sneak around him and hopefully drop some torps on him to help the battleship out, but it's gonna be a risky endeavor. I still do have a smoke screen, so I can use it. So as I'm getting close to him, I see that he's on pretty much full health, and I decide it's not going to be my battle, that one. So a spotter aircraft suddenly appears out of nowhere. And I can see shells coming over from that mountain, but I'm not sure what's there. I turn on my AA again here because I don't want this spotter aircraft near me. I'm spotted anyway, so I'm watching the Cleveland. I start firing on him because I'm spotted anyway. And his guns are facing the other way at the moment. I'm firing. I can see his guns starting to turn though. I'm still firing. And then I drop smoke. I'm going to turn back into the smoke and get a decent screen up so I can fire in multiple directions. So I decide just to take some wild shots here because I know there was shots coming behind there. So I'm hoping someone will turn up from around this mountain.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
We're going to win the battle anyway. We only need 40 points. So I keep firing at this Cleveland, keep firing. And suddenly a wild Fuso appears and runs into 3 torpedoes, doing 21,000 damage. As that happens though, unfortunately the game ends. With a victory for us. So let's have a quick look at that. We received 407,000 credits for that. We got 4,000 experience. We got a devastating strike medal and also a first blood medal. We hit 87 shots with our guns and we hit 8 torpedoes. Destroyed 4 ships. We came top on the team. Double the next person, which was the Ranger. We did 20,000 damage with shells, and we did 62,000 damage with torpedoes. Very little flooding and fire damage. It must have been repaired very, very quickly. Less damage than the previous game, but because this was a win, that's why we got so much more credits. And if you look here, we got 230,000 credit profit. So that was the Farragut, the TR-6 American destroyer. Hope I showcased some of the strengths and weaknesses of the ship. Fantastic guns. The torpedoes are not to be relied on, but they are great for close range engagements. If you have any questions about the Farragut or anything you want to discuss with it, please just leave a comment under the video and like the video.